Why now? Because if you look around our country, I'm not sure there's been a more urgent time to make the case that we need to change than now. There's kids being kept in cages. A middle-class job no longer provides for a middle-class life. Donald Trump has created a reckoning for our country, no question. But the fact is that if you just take on Donald Trump, you miss the fact that 63 million Americans thought that he was the right answer. There's a broken system there that forced them to think that he was the right answer. You got to take that system on. And for me, I believe that means Massachusetts has to have a senator that is laser focused and engaged on three main topics. One, home. You show up around the state, you have a senator that is visible and accessible to all of the voices across the state, to harnessing their concerns, their ambitions, their hopes and their dreams, and making sure that as you hear those concerns and you show up, you're accessible and available, you take those concerns with you to Washington and form the second part, which is policy. Look, climate is a critical issue out there, and the Green New Deal is a big piece of that, without question. I was an original co-sponsor on day one of that bill. That's an important priority for me as well. But we've also heard today issues about affordable housing, transportation, and infrastructure. Challenges to make sure that a working job actually provides your ability to raise a family. Immigration system, criminal justice reform. There's myriad challenges we face, and you need to have a senator that's engaged in them. And third, you got to change the politics. Look, fighting back against Donald Trump has to be job one, and I agree. This has got to be a priority for all of us to try to get him out of office. But if you do that without addressing the fact that Mitch McConnell still can control the United States Senate, trying to deliver on our policy proposals going forward is going to be awfully hard to do. Over the course of the past several years, the past 2 years, I've traveled to nearly 20 states, from West Virginia to Indiana to Michigan to Texas, trying to make that case about what democratic and progressive policies can be. I was proud of the contribution I made to help flip the House of Representatives, and I look forward to trying to do that as well if I'm fortunate enough to be elected to the Senate.
And what sets you apart from your opponent, Markey?
So I think a bunch of things. Look, there's going to be areas where we line up. And again, I'm proud of my record on climate, understanding it's a priority of his, it's a priority of mine, and I'm proud of that record. But there's important areas of difference. One, I don't take corporate PAC money. Senator Markey does. I believe there's deep need for structural reforms in this country. Like, if you want to deliver on the promise of a Green New Deal, you're going to have to end the filibuster, because Mitch McConnell ain't going to do that. You're going to have to, I believe that, given the realities that we confront in this country today, that the person that earns the most votes for being president should be our president and the Electoral College. I believe that there should be term limits on the Supreme Court so that we take the temperature down around these confirmations. I believe in one of the most pressing issues for my generation here, which is student loan debt. I'm one of the sponsors of a bill in the House that was led by Senator Warren in the Senate that calls for the abolition of nearly 95% of student loan debt across this country. I have called for, on other areas of progressive policy, I have called for the legalization at the federal level of marijuana. Senator Markey hasn't. So I know there's been a lot out there about his record versus mine. I will put my record up against anybody's when it comes to progressive policies.